Jody Wilson Raybould just released a secret recording from a phone call with the government's top bureaucrat, clerk of the Privy Council, Michael Wernick. It's a 17-minute call, but I'll play the more important parts. What you're about to hear confirms everything that Wilson Raybould said in her testimony. It also shows that Trudeau is an absolute liar.
The allegations in the Globe story this morning are false.
Hello, Michael. It's Jody.
Hi, sorry about the phone tag.
That's okay.
I'm not calling you about the litigation directive. I'm calling about the other unpleasant one. The deferred prosecution agreement thing and SNC and so on. I wanted to pass on where the PM's at. Our intelligence from various sources is that the company is getting to a very serious point now. So there's a lot of anxiety, like another rising anxiety, as you can imagine, about signature firm and job loss and all that coming after the Oshawa thing and what's going on in Calgary and whatnot. So the PM wants to be able to say that he has tried everything he can, within a legitimate toolbox to try to head that off. So he's quite determined, quite firm, that he wants to know why the DPA route, which Parliament provided for, isn't being used. And I think he's going to find a way to get it done one way or another.
This is a very important part. He says he's going to get it done one way or another.
He's going to find a way to get it done one way or another.
Within these conversations, there were expressed statements regarding the necessity of interference in the SNC Lavalin matter, the potential of consequences, and veiled threats if a DPA was not made available to SNC.
So he's in that kind of mood, and I wanted you to be aware of that.
Okay.
So I don't know if he's going to call you directly. He might. He just wants to understand more at this point why the DPA route isn't being taken up in this route. So he's thinking about bringing in somebody like Bev McLaughlin to give him advice on this, or to give you advice to make, if you want to feel more comfortable that you're not doing anything that's inappropriate or outside the frame of...
100% competent. I'm doing nothing inappropriate.
Yeah. No, but would not be if you decided to use some of these tools under the law. Because I think he feels the government has to have done everything it can before we lose 9,000 jobs in a signature Canadian firm.
Right. So, I'm confident in where I'm at, and my views on SNC and the DPA haven't changed. This is a constitutional principle of prosecutorial independence that, Michael, I have to say, including this conversation, previous conversations that I've had with the Prime Minister and many other people around it, it's entirely inappropriate, and it is political interference. And the Prime Minister obviously can talk to whomever he wants, but what I am trying to do is to protect him. I'm just issuing the strongest warning I can possibly issue that decisions that are made by the independent prosecutor are their decisions. We gave her and them the tools, the additional tools. I made it very clear at the cabinet table and in other places that these tools are the discretion of the prosecutor, and everybody agreed to that, and there was no guarantee that there would be a DPA in this or any other case. So we were treading on dangerous ground here, so I'm going to issue my stern warning because I can't act in a manner, and the prosecution can't act in a manner that is not objective, that isn't independent. I can't act in a partisan way, and it can't be politically motivated. All of this screams of that. So I'm actually uncomfortable having this conversation, but I'm happy to talk to you.
Okay, but I think it's not interference. The statute specifically has these other provisions provisions in it that allow you to ask questions of the DPP. That's provided for. It's not interference.
But I would have to issue a directive. I would have to gazette this. If this is gazetted, this will be, and this is not, and I hear you on the jobs and wanting to save jobs. I mean, we all want to do that. This goes far beyond saving jobs. This is about the integrity of the Prime Minister and interference. There's no way that anybody would interpret this other than interference.
Well,
I feel like I actually really feel uncomfortable having this conversation because it's wrong. And I hear, and the Prime Minister obviously can call me. Like I said to you, I will have I'm going to call Beverly McLaughlin and have a conversation about her with her.
Well, I mean, of course it hasn't been done before because Parliament only created the instrument barely a year ago. So
No. This instrument was, you mean the directive? The directive on a specific prosecution has never occurred, and this happened because Harper brought this law in, as you probably know, 10 years ago. The directive the DPA has never been used because it just entered the criminal code back in September. So I understand that this is the first case. I have to be, unless it's something outrageous, comfortable with the decision, recognizing it's the first one, likely, and obviously I'm confident, wasn't entered into lightly, made the decision not to enter into a DPA with respect to this case. And she explained why.
So when did she convey that to you?
She issued the Section 13 back in September when I was down in Australia for whatever that, for the Five Eyes. And then all of this transfer, I mean, I have a timeline of every single conversation and everything that everybody's said to me on this. So I'm surprised that you and I are having this conversation, but I'm just saying that I really feel uncomfortable and about the appropriateness of this conversation.
Okay, I understand that, but I think his view is he's not asking you to do anything appropriate or to interfere. He's asking you to use all of the tools that you lawfully have at your disposal.
I know I have a tool under the Prosecution Act that I can use. I do not believe it is appropriate to use it in this case.
Okay, all right. I mean, then that's clear. He's in a very firm mood about this, so...
Does he understand the gravity of what this potentially could mean? This is not just about saving jobs. This is about interfering with one of our fundamental institutions. This is like breaching a constitutional principle of prosecutorial independence. So we can...
I don't think he sees it as that.
Well, then nobody's explaining that to him, Michael.
Okay. I respect where you're coming from. I just think...
You know what? I hope that you do, because I don't think anybody respects this. I mean, the conversation that Jerry and Katie had with my chief of staff, and I have it, like, she wrote down what they said, like saying that they don't want to have anything or hear any more about the legalities, but want to talk about jobs. Entirely inappropriate.
Okay, well, it wasn't...
Well, I have it. I have it all. It's just...
Okay, but, you're not just the Attorney General, you're the Minister of Justice in the Cabinet, and, but you have context within which you exercise your roles and responsibilities. I'm not seeing anything inappropriate here, but...
It's not that they're not lawful. The perception and what will happen is it will be deemed political interference from day one, when people were talking about why are we entering into or putting a DPA regime in place. Everybody knows it was because of SNC. Whether that's true or not, that's what people think.
All right. Well, I don't, I'm going to have to report back on before he leaves. He's been a pretty firm frame of mind about this, though, so I'm a bit worried.
Bit worried about what? Veiled threats.
Well, it's not a good idea for the Prime Minister and then his Attorney General to be at loggerheads.
I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, so I'm not under any illusion how the Prime Minister has and gets things that he wants, and I'm just stuck doing the best job that I can.
This recording is a gift sent from heaven. It puts Trudeau in a new light, as a crime lord who threatens his employees if they don't follow his orders. But as any good weasel does, Trudeau is going to try to wriggle himself out of this one as well. So share this video, and go check out MakeTrudeauADramaTeacherAgain.com for your election year hats and toques.